Hello, thanks for tuning in. My name's Stuart and I'm a classical record collector and dealer. So I've got two packages arrived from eBay today, or rather from eBay sellers. I thought I'd unbox them. I've actually already unboxed one of them. I've had to tear into the package. It came in this package that the gum was so strong on the flap that I actually had to tear into it, which, you know, it's not a very well designed packet, that, if you've got to tear into it, and I had to be very careful not to actually damage the record inside. So I got what I was expecting, which is this record. It's Schneiderhan playing Mozart's second and third violin concertos. Now, the seller described it as the record EX, excellent, and the jacket as very good, or just good. I think the reason he described it as just good, and as opposed to excellent, is because, as you can see, it's come away from the flap. Now that's not a problem. I just used Prit to repair that. So to be honest with you, once repaired, that jacket is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I think that's an EX jacket, and I believe it's going to be an EX record because I've looked at the condition and it appears absolutely fine. There's the record. Now, some of you will be thinking, oh, it's not a tulip label. Yeah, no, it's not a tulip label. It's made in Germany, which is what you want to be watching for. It's made in Germany with the Deutsche Grammophon. It's not a tulip label. I've had a look around. It's a 139. I don't believe that there is a tulip label of this. I think this is the original issue. I've looked on Google. I've not been able to see a tulip label. I think this is the early issue. And also, I think that's an early jacket. Now, with a lot of the 138s, the early jacket has got a red logo here where it says stereo. I don't believe there's a red logo jacket, so I do believe this is an early issue. I think this is quite a good record, Mozart's second and third violin concertos. With Schneiderhan, he's not an ultra collectible violinist, but he is kind of collectible. But the more valuable Schneiderhans are the violin sonata records rather than the concertos. But this is quite a good one, including shipping. I paid about £12 for it, which is, you know, not too bad really. As a Mozart fan, I'm glad to have that, even if I just keep it myself. So I'm quite pleased with that one. I'll check the condition on that with my mobile phone after I've done this slot on the video. So I'm happy with that visually anyway. Let's have a look at the other one now. I received the other day a card from Royal Mail. I've been waiting for Chung on Decca. I paid over £40 for it. I've been waiting 2 weeks for it to arrive. And I asked the seller, where is it? And he said he sent it, of course. I received a request for £3. I didn't know what that £3 was for, because I've got another business and I've got people sending me returns sometimes. And it could have been because when Royal Mail inform you that postage has been overpaid on an item that's been sent to you, they don't show you what it is. They don't tell you. I mean, it could be anything. So I paid that £3, and this arrived today. There's a label on it saying underpaid postage. He's not paid enough on it. He's paid £3.19 on this second class small parcel. I'm not sure why it's underpaid, but the seller has said that he'll give me this £3 back if I tell him about it, and it has arrived anyway. He's underpaid by £1.50, and there's a £1.50 handling fee. So I got the record in the end. Let's have a look at it. This is really, I mean, this is the problem, you see. It's kind of bent here. It's kind of bent here. I hope it's not damaged inside. No, it probably isn't. I mean, the package is actually too big for the record that he's sent. Let's be very careful. I'm using this Stanley knife to get inside it. I don't want to damage the record. There it is. I can see it. I almost did damage it. Yeah, but I didn't. But it's okay. It looks all right. Let's hope that it's not bent, because there is actually a bend there in the package. Oh yes indeed. So there it is. It's arrived. It's a narrow band, made in England. I mean, if it was a Dutch pressing, I wouldn't have paid more than £5 for it. But, you know, I don't think there is a Dutch pressing of this particular record. So the partita, I wonder, I'm not too sure whether Chung made any other Bach records, because, you know, the great sonata of partita is the first one. But, you know, I mean, I will take any Chung playing any Bach at all. The jacket, well, I'm not really too happy with this. There's actually a hole in it. So yeah, there's a hole at the front. I'm not happy with that at all. I'll have to have a look at the original. Let me have a look at the original listing there to see whether it actually states that there's a hole in the jacket, because with there being a hole in the jacket, I mean, it's not ideal, but it reduces the appeal of it. Let's just see what he says about the condition and whether you can see that hole. Yeah, I mean, you can't. Oh yeah, I can see the hole. I can see that the hole is there. Vinyl sleeve EX with very little age-related shelf wear around the edges. Well, I suppose that's my fault for not actually spotting that hole. I probably won't say anything about it, but you know, I mean, I'm not entirely happy. But anyway, it does reduce the value a bit, you know, probably by about £10 or so. So I wouldn't class that as an EX jacket though, with it having a hole in it. I would say it's a VG plus, and he's graded it as EX. So I might actually try and get some money back from him for that, because it's not. I don't know whether you can see. You probably can't see that there's a hole. Just there. That there's a hole, and it comes through onto the back. So I should have studied the photograph more carefully, but I'm not too disappointed. It hasn't come in the original sleeve. The main thing is, of course, how is it going to play? All right, well, I'll test these two out, and I'll add that to this unboxing. Okay, I'm just testing out the Chung first. Let's have a listen. Okay, well that's kind of okay. There were one or two sort of ticks there, but let's just move the stylus on to hear later in the record. Okay, I think that's fine. I think the record's okay. I'm just disappointed with the jacket, and I will be contacting the seller. It's properly pictured. But, you know, he's described that as EX, and he said there's a little wear around the edges. He didn't mention that there's a hole. If he'd mentioned the hole, then I wouldn't have any complaints, but he hasn't mentioned that there's a hole in the jacket, and I'll be wanting some money back on this. Okay, now I'm going to test the Schneiderhan. Okay, here we are. Let's listen to Mozart's Violin Concerto No. 3 with Schneiderhan playing. Okay, sorry, Mozart Violin Concerto No. 2, not No. 3. Sounds fabulous, I really like it. So I'm happy with the Schneiderhan. I'm not happy with the Chung. I'll have to contact the seller and try and get some money back off it. Otherwise, I may send it back, because I don't think it was correctly described, although it was correctly photographed. Okay, thank you. Thank you for watching. Okay, I decided to return the Chung. The item photo does actually show that the main hole, there are actually 3 holes at the front. There's a large hole, and then there are two smaller holes which, because of the resolution that he uses in on the item page, the two smaller holes are not visible. Plus, he's not mentioned them at all. He's described the jacket as EX. It's not. It's VG. So yeah, I should have seen that larger hole, but there are two other holes there which are not visible. They appear at the front and the back, so three holes. I'm returning it at his expense. I mean, I would only keep this if he would reduce the price to like £10, because I can't really get a good price on this record without having any holes at the front at all. So it's very reluctant for me to return items. I don't like to do it, but I think that he should have actually said that there are holes. There are three holes at the front. One is visible in the photograph, the other two are not. So I've taken a detailed photo to demonstrate that there are three holes, not just one. So I think I've got a valid case for returning it. But I've got to be more careful buying records on eBay and spend a lot more time studying the images, because I've been caught out once or twice. Embarrassing, because I'm supposed to be a professional dealer, but I always used to, of course, go into households, buying records and studying them up close. So looking at photographs and decoding descriptions, etc., is something that I'm still relatively new at and learning lessons all the time. Okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.